we discussed a question in the chat that would be interesting to answer, and that is,
Diddy.
would you have sucked off Diddy for fame and money? Do you think there's any point in your life where if Diddy walked in, maybe he's in his white gala clothes, maybe he's in the Joker costume, who the fuck knows, and he said, "Get down on your knees. If you do this, if you take what I'm about to give you from my fanny pack," just the image of like someone whipping their cock out with a fanny pack dressed as the Joker, and says, "If you do this, all your dreams and wishes will come true. I'll guide you to the same success that I have right now." Do you think there's any point in your life where you would have accepted that, or would have been like, "All right, I got to go to the bathroom and genuinely think about this offer"? Like, it's not a hard no.
I was talking about this with my girlfriend. Like, for fame and success, definitely not. No, like, and I think part of that is because I wouldn't want to achieve it in that way. Like in the same way, like I would never want, for example, to like pay for success. I'd never want like someone to like, you hear about these people, like some artists where like they have like mega rich parents and stuff, and they basically just buy their way into the music industry. That's probably about half the music industry now. The new artists are people who they're either like drug dealers with loads of disposable income, or they're just super rich kids. Basically, there's no like middle class in music anymore, and I wouldn't want that either. And I feel like I've always backed myself to be successful, and I've always had some level of pride in like I want to do things. I want to do it for myself and like know that I've accomplished something. So for that, no. But I wonder, as there are times in my life where if it meant I could have sex with lots of hot women, like I might have done it. To be honest, if it started off where he's like, "Look, we got these like Latina girls, these Asian girls, other girls, all these different girls you can sleep with," and I start off already like I'm getting like blowies because I was not having a lot of sex when I was a teenager, and I'm getting, they're like sucking me off and stuff, and I'm having the time of my life. I'm going to these parties, I'm doing drugs, because that was another easy way to get me hooked. And then after like a month of this, he's like, "Look, you can't really hang around here anymore because, I'm not getting it. You're not upholding your end of the bargain."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's
You
my
got to
end
return
of
the
the bargain?"
favor.
He's like, "You got to return the favor." I think, I don't know, because at that age I would have been so disgusted by the idea of sucking a cock like that. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think maybe at that age I'd had like some gay thoughts and like experimentation within my own mind, So actually, no, yeah, I don't think I even was that horrified by that then. So yeah, I think maybe at that age, to be honest, when I was really young, like I think my desperation for sex and drugs and stuff would have been a lot more likely to lead me down that path than fame. I'd like to think I would have just said no. We'd all like to think we would have said no, and we never would have been there in the first place. But I think we're all lucky to have not been invited.
Yeah, I think people always describe it like the way that I described it is what people will present the question as, is if Diddy walked into a room and he whipped out his cock and said, "Get on your knees and suck it and you'll have fame, success, and women," would you do it? Most people would probably say no, or they at least think about it and then say no. But if it's more like what you're describing, where he gives you a taste first, and maybe he even does it as part of some sort of orgy, allegedly, where it's like you're just, you're in the middle of eating two girls' pussies and you're fucking another one, and all of a sudden, like you're drugged up, you're on meth, Molly, alcohol, like everything, cocaine, and then all of a sudden, like one of those vaginas just happens to be Diddy's cock. And he's like, "Suck my cock and this can continue." And you're like fucking like railing out some other fucking music star from behind, and there's naked women all around you. I feel like if you're going to do it the first time you do it, you have to sort of like ease it into that person's life, especially if you're a straight male, to like almost present it as like, oh, it's just a part of the orgy. It's just a part of like all this fame, money, success, bitches. And then like once you do that, then like the next time he does it, he's like, "Well, you did it on Saturday night. Like, what's the difference between doing that with a ton of girls around and like doing it on Tuesday before I eat my Captain Crunch?" It's like you sort of like open the door into
and then
it.
it becomes, sorry, go on.
I know. I was just gonna say if you put me in a time machine and I was back at 19 years old, where I was at the peak of my baseball career, like 19, 20 years old, I all I cared about was baseball and bitches. And that situation occurred where I somehow made it to a Diddy party as a college baseball player, surrounded by all these celebrities, and like I'm in a room and I'm just like, completely maniacally obsessed by everything going on around me. And then all of a sudden, Diddy's cock appears in front of my face, and he's like, "You can have all this whenever you want, and you're also going to become a major league baseball player and have a very long career in the major leagues." I'd be like, fuck, like it's just I probably like you'd just be looking at it, looking back to the girls, and like looking back to the dick, and looking back, like, God damn, like this is. I honestly don't know what I would have done in that moment, like with that build up to it, and being 20 years old, with feeling like I need to become a major league baseball player and get girls, or I'm not gonna survive. Be a really tough decision. Very, very tough for sure.
And what you described about it starting off like where it's around the girls and you're like, it's stuff, who cares?
Just
Yeah,
a cock in a cock in a sea of pussy. Yeah,
like they're the same. It's just inside out cock is a pussy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he says. He's like, it's just an inside out pussy
that's come outwards. It's fine. It's the same material as a pussy, and you're like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's like, stop being so material. Stop being so materialistic. It's all the same thing.
You would, and then you do it then, and then, like we're discussing, it would begin to inform your identity, right? You'd be like, I'm Zach. Who gives a fuck? I suck cock sometimes. I like women. I like cock. And then suddenly,
I'm crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
part
crazy.
of my identity now. I'll put whatever you want in front of my face, and I'll suck it.
Yeah. And then someone else confronts you about it. They're like, I heard you suck Diddy's cock. And you're like, yeah, I fucking suck cock.
Yeah.
And then it more and more reinforces this idea. And then you're like, maybe I want a man to suck my cock. And then you're like, suddenly.
Exactly. I got to recruit my own. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to tell Diddy what I did the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing, it's like, it gets to a point where there's so many allegations that pile up and just so many of these celebrity rumors that accumulate. It would be weird if none of it was true. Like almost certainly 10% of it is true. And like you said, if Diddy was dead or if Diddy was in jail, how many celebrities would come out and speak more openly about exactly what was going on those parties, or like exactly what was happening, or didn't feel this level of protection over Diddy or fear from Diddy because he's still able to, maneuver and have some power in the industry.